If you want to get clients online, delivering presentation is definitely the most effective way. Whether it's a live training, whether it's a webinar, there is nothing that converts more by being in front of your ideal clients. Now, why is that? Why these presentations work so well? Which I'm sure you've seen it done from some of the biggest influencers. They all do it. Or even some of the smaller ones or some of the people that you follow. But why do they do that? Because I want you to understand something. Before people spend money with you, they will spend time with you. So instead of thinking about how am I going to get more clients, think about how can I get clients, my ideal audience, to spend more time with me. Well, a webinar does the job because you can delivering an online presentation, you can build a great relationship, you can create connection. They can see who you are. They can see the quality of the work that you can provide. They can understand the way you think. That's why I absolutely love webinars, and I think that every coaching or speaking business must have a webinar at the beginning of their business model because it's an incredible way to get clients. By far the most effective way. Now, the problem that a lot of time happens is that, and maybe you've seen it, you've done it yourself, that people deliver a presentation and deliver a great training, and then at the end, instead of getting sales, they get thank yous. And I remember deliver, and this was even live, not even with a webinar. I remember being in a room of about 100 people, and I delivered a great training. Then I made an offer, and I think like offer about like $50. Only one person bought over 100. And she probably would have bought anything, to be honest. So she didn't buy because of I did a great job there. But then plenty of people came to me and they said, "Oh my God, this was amazing. Thank you very much. I love the way you did." But they didn't give me any money. They didn't buy anything. And if you're good at what you're doing, and maybe you're a good presenter, or you're running trainings, you will find that you will get a lot of compliments. But compliments don't pay the bills. Compliments don't grow your business. Compliments don't give you clients. They're good for your ego, and that's it. So I was looking at why is this happening? Why there are all these people that are making all this money from presentations, and me, that I'm delivering a lot of value, and I'm giving away so much, and I'm creating a great experience for the attendees, even online or live presentations. Then they're not buying. And then I realized what was the issue. I was training and not selling. Now there is a difference between a training presentation and a sales presentation. And I want to caveat that sales presentation doesn't mean not delivering value. You can create a sales presentation that delivers incredible value, but also position the sales. What I was doing, I was training. I was giving away a lot of the how-tos, a lot of the things that I knew. I was giving away all my best material because I was under the impression that the more I was giving, the more clients I was gonna get. The problem is that I was giving away so much, there was no need for people to buy from me. There was no need for them. I already gave them the solution. I already showed them what they had to do. Now, the problem with that is, and you can say, but it's not the whole purpose of inspiring others and being in the business of helping? Yes, it is, but to a point. You can't pretend, and this is how someone actually put it to me, you can't pretend to be so egotistical that a 45-minute to an hour presentation is going to transform someone's life. Who are you? Right? And I thought about that, and I said, this is so true. Creating transformation and creating a change requires commitment and requires following a process. A presentation helps you think in a different way, but if you don't buy in, you can you can have all the best information, you're just not going to implement them. Think about all the people that are struggling to lose weight, for example. I struggled with weight for a long time, and I went to anorexia, bulimia, overeating. It was a terrible time of my life. I had all the tools and all the knowledge in terms of losing weight in my overeating phase. I had all the tools. I knew I could get on a diet, I knew I had to exercise, I knew what kind of regimes program, all the informations were out there. But I didn't fully buy in. And I remember when I committed to a process and I paid money for it. Because I paid money, then I paid attention, then I stuck to that process. And that's the same that is going to happen with you. You can deliver and tell people what to do, but if they're not going to be part of a process, if they've not invested, then they're actually not going to do anything. A very, very small percentage. So only when people buy from you, you can actually give them the support that they need. So it's a bit of a paradox here. You want people to buy from you so that you can actually fully help them. And when you make that shift, now you can see, I don't need actually to train and tell people everything I know in a presentation. The aim of that presentation, if you want to get clients, remember, like if you want to train, train. If they pay you for training, train. If you're offering something that you say, this is a training, train. But if you want to get clients and your outcome is, I'm doing this presentation because I want to sell, then you need to deliver a sales presentation. So I'll tell you what is the number one thing that your presentation must do is not teach people how to do something. It's to get people to think differently. It's to shift the belief. If you do that, if you get someone to come to you before their presentation and now you show them a different way of seeing their life, you give them a different sense of possibility, you get them excited about it. Now that energy, the momentum, one is going to turn into a sale, and two, because now they have committed and they have this energy and they can see the possibility, now they also have the energy to follow through and then get the result that they want. So whenever you're creating your presentation, remember this. Think about what is the number one thing, the number one shift that someone needs to make mentally in order to be ready to implement what I'm going to say. For example, if you are selling, I have a client and they are selling HR services. So she's a consultant for HR departments or for companies that don't have HR departments. So someone that doesn't have an HR department, for example, needs to believe first that they need to invest in their people and they need to have someone who can help their employees, and actually they need to sort out their HR processes and systems. If they believe that, they're going to take action, and that's where the sale is going to happen. So the presentation in that case is going to be designed for someone to see all the different problems that could happen if all these things are not sorted out. Because now if you see what the negative consequences can be, it's like, oh my God, like you're actually helping me. You're saving me from all these problems. Yeah, let's do something about it, which is investing and working together. Or for example, think about have a client that works with, helps people losing weight. Now, of course, if she went in and just say, oh, here's the diet that you need to follow, here's the exercise regime, goodbye. People will not do anything. That's why they're still in that position. But if she shows them, and helps them understand why they're holding on to that weight, what's happened psychologically inside them that keeps them holding on to this weight or putting on even more weight, what are they protecting themselves from? And then now they can have that aha moment, and they can show them actually also, hey, if you don't do something about this, this is how your life is going to be. But let's do something together so then we can turn things around. And this is the possibility of what's possible. In fact, if you can help them see that way, now I'll be like, okay, actually, I believe in this. I see it. I can do it. Let me invest and let me get a transformation. Same thing, I've got another client who actually sells marketing services. Again, I can teach you all the different lead generation strategies for marketing. That will not give her clients. What gave her clients actually in that presentation is to get people to understand and to have the shift of belief that ongoing marketing is what is going to save their business and expand their business. And so she will show the different ways in which people will be inconsistent. They will not take action, or they will procrastinate on their marketing. And then she will show ways in which people could be consistent. And then she will show case studies and the stories about how people then, by being consistent with the market, by implementing certain strategies, they were able to turn their business around. So now if you help me believe that actually I need to really focus on my marketing in order to grow my business or save my business if I'm having problems, now I'm going to be more receptive to your offer to help me with the marketing. So these are just a few examples. Now think about your own scenario and answer this question. What is the number one thing that someone needs to believe before they buy your product or service? What is the number one thing you need to believe before they buy your product or service? Now, I teach webinars, so the number one thing people need to believe before they buy a webinar program is that webinars are the best way to generate leads. And I absolutely believe that. I want you to believe that too. That's why I keep saying it all the time. And in my presentation, then I will justify it. I will show different ways. Why psychologically does it work? What makes a webinar better and worse, and so on. And then people at the end can make their final decision. So, now to recap, we talked about the difference between training versus sales presentation. If you're hired to train. Don't turn a training or a promise of training into a sales presentation. That's a no-go. That's how you break the trust of the people that you work with. If you train. But if you want to sell and get clients, learn how to create a sales presentation. Build it. Now, we have a lot of training. Actually, I wanted to check the link below because we have an upcoming training on how to create great webinars. This is one of the concepts which we teach, the difference between training and presentation. But then also we show you the entire webinar model. You know, what needs to be put in certain parts and why it works for your clients. And then at the end, then you can decide if that's something that you want to keep having in your business as well. So check it out. The link is below, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see you there, because that's by putting that part of your business in place, by having a webinar, you will solve about 90% of your lead generation problems, because now you will get people through the webinar, you promote the webinar, get other partners to promote the webinar, get people in, deliver your presentation, get clients, rinse and repeat. It's a very predictable and replicable system. That's why I love it. That's why I've been using webinars for the past 7 years. And that's why I want you to use webinar too. And if you're doing them and not getting results, I want you to actually do them in the right way. Because we are very famous to turn people that either never done webinars before or they didn't get results actually to get clients from their webinars. So I cannot wait to see you in that training. I would love to know also what you learned from this video, what stood out for you. And if you have any other question, let me know, because I can expand on this particular content. Cannot wait to see you next time. And until next time, remember, together we grow exponentially. Ciao.